Monday the 9th, March 2026. Buddha Dhamma, compiled by Somdet Prabhuta Gosacharya. English name, P.A. Payuto. We are in chapter 1713, concluding the remarks on the Bhikkhu Sangha Vinaya, the monastic discipline, from page 1687 to page 1695. Buddha Dhamma, chapter 1713. The prime moral objectives of the monastic code of discipline in Pali is called the Vinaya, can be summed up as follows. To honor the monastic community and its activities, to emphasize the stability and well-being of the community, and to develop a sense of responsibility towards the community. Gautama Buddha and all the Arihats, disciples, embodied the spirit of this teaching and acted as paragons of virtue. Responsible and supportive actions in regard to the community, the Sangha, are correct according to the Dhamma and consistent with the discipline, the Vinaya. Respect for the Sangha is thus connected to the respect for both the eternal law of causality, the Dhamma, and for the discipline, the Vinaya. A sense of responsibility for the Sangha is also connected to the practice of benefiting all human beings, because the term Sangha literally means community or multitude. And the monastic community was established for the welfare and happiness of all people. Gautama Buddha is the leading example in the way of practice confirmed in this passage. The Tathagata, the Arihat, and the fully awakened one, the champion, the king of the Dhamma, relying on the Dhamma, respecting, honoring, and revering the Dhamma, with the Dhamma as his standard, as his banner, as the sovereign, provides righteous protection, shelter, and safety to all the bhikkhus, the bhikkhunis, the laymen and laywomen, by teaching thus such bodily action, verbal action, mental action, livelihood, dwelling in a town or a village should be undertaken, and such action, etc., should not be undertaken. I dwell honoring and respecting and depending on that very Dhamma to which I have fully awakened to realize the truth. And wherever the Sangha is possessed of greatness, then I also have deep reverence for the Sangha. When the monastic community increased, became more widespread, and grew in both knowledge and experience, Gautama Buddha established various formal acts of the Sangha. This is called the Sangha Kamma. By giving preeminence and entrusting authority to the collective community. In regard to ordinations, for example, he ceased giving ordination by himself or permitting individuals to give ordinations. Rather had the Sangha perform this duty. When Mahapajapati Gotami, this is the Buddha's stepmother, bought a set of robes that she had sewn for herself to offer to Gautama Buddha, the Buddha said to her, "Give it to the Sangha, Gotami. When you give an offering to the Sangha, Gotami, it will be made both to me and to the Sangha." Before Gautama Buddha's final paranibbana, passing away, he spoke thus to Venerable Ananta. Ananta, the Dhamma and the Vinaya that I have taught and assigned to all of you At my passing will be your teacher. After the Gautama Buddha's paranibbana, final passing away, the Hindu Brahma Vasakara asked the following question to Venerable Ananta. Master Ananta, is there any single bhikkhu monk who was appointed by Master Gautama? Thus, he will be your refuge, point of reference, anchor, example when I am gone, and whom to you are now devoted. Venerable Ananta replied that there is no such individual, nor there is such an individual who has been chosen by the Sangha and appointed by the number of the elder bhikkhus before the Buddha's passing away. Nevertheless, we are not without a refuge, Hindu Brahmin. We have a refuge. We have the Dhamma as our refuge. Dhammang saranang gacchami. We have the Dhamma as our refuge. He went on to explain the Dhamma acts as a refuge. Hindu Brahmin, Gautama, the Blessed One, the Buddha who knows and sees, awakes, who is accomplished and fully enlightened, has prescribed the course of training, Ditso Sikha, and has laid down the Patimokkha. On the observance days, many of us could live independence upon a single village, district, meet together in unison. And when we meet, we ask who knows the Patimokkha to recite it. If a bhikkhu remembers an offense or transgression while the Patimokkha is being recited, we impose a penalty on him according to the Dhamma in the way that we have been instructed. In this way, it is not the Venerable Ones who corrects us, it is the Dhamma that corrects us. Venerable Ananta went on to say however, there are monks, bhikkhus, who are seen as leaders and as a mainstay. There are, Hindu Brahmin, 10 qualities, expiring competence that have been declared by Gautama, the Blessed One, who knows and sees, fully awakened, who is accomplished and fully enlightened. With these qualities are found in anyone among us. We honor, respect, revere, and venerate him, and live dependence on him, honoring and respecting him. A bhikkhu, a monk who is appointed to adjudicate legal disputes, must also be one who defers to the Sangha rather than deferring to an individual, one who honors the truth rather than honoring material objects. It is incumbent on leading an Arihat's disciple to act as role models and giving importance to the community activities. Take the example, there is a story of Gautama Buddha exhorting Venerable Mahakappina to attend the observance day ceremony. In order for the bhikkhus to review their conduct in light of the Vinaya, the discipline, even though Mahakappina was an Arihat and fully pure at heart. Similarly, although Venerable Mahakassapa lived in a remote place about 4 kilometers from the place where the observance day ceremony was held, he would walk on foot each fortnight to attend the ceremony, the Uposatha days, even though it was meant passing across a river. Those monks who were arihats and non-returners, anagami, who are able to enter the attainment of cessation, nirota samapatti, make the following determination before entering state. If during the 7 days that I enter the state of cessation, nirota samapatti, the Sangha requires to perform a formal act. For example, a formal resolution, nati kamma, I will exit this state immediately, before another monk needs to invite me. This is because the authority of the community is vital and worthy of respect. When events or circumstances occur that affect the welfare of the monastic community, the Sangha, or have an impact or growth on the decline of Buddhist religion, the monks, the bhikkhus, especially the arihats, have an obligation to pay attention, to get involved. The example here, they organize councils or recitation, Sangayana, to purify the Sangha, protect the teachings from the deviation or from disrespectful, slanderous people or ideologies. Help the Buddhist religion survive in times of danger, and to cultivate and support those individuals who are skilled at safeguarding and promoting Buddhism's dispensation. If an individual neglects to participate in these Sangha activities, the Sangha will impose a penalty on him, even if he is an arihant, or even if the reason for neglect was to pursue a wholesome, blameless action like dwelling in a concentration of attainment. When the community imposes a penalty, the person penalized has the opportunity to explain the reason for his actions. But if the Sangha makes a final decision, the person will honor this, as it is seen in the case of Venerable Ananta, who was rebuked during the first council. It is also the tradition of the member of the Sangha, the monastic community, to pay attention to minor activities requiring collective effort, like sewing robes. Such collective effort is particularly important in matters pertaining to formal acts of the Sangha. Take in the regard example for the Katina ceremony, during which the community agrees to offer a robe sewn from donated cloth to an individual monk. Each monk or every monk in the community, irrespective of the monk's seniority or spiritual accomplishments, should participate in sewing this cloth into the robe. Communal responsibility can be separated into two layers of importance. The first layer of importance of communal activity is minor communal affairs pertaining to specific circumstances or deeds of mutual assistance to be performed as companions in a single community, which accord with the factors leading to harmony, in particular the factor of kindly assistance and support. For example, by nursing each other in times of illness, and the factor found in the alternative presentation of the teaching, of the willingness to give helping hand, a diligence to help out in all community matters, big and small. The second layer, communal activities that have a bearing on the well-being and the stability of the entire community, or matters requiring joint consideration and decision-making, which accord with the factors leading to prosperity, especially the first two factors, to hold regular and frequent meetings, and to meet in harmony with adjournment in harmony, and conduct the Sangha business in harmony. In relation to the first matters, if a monk takes no heed and makes no effort to help out, it is like that he will be criticized and censored by the community and requested to come forward to explain his action and receive words of caution. This procedure, however, is independent of circumstances and has exceptions. For instance, there are many already be someone else specifically assigned to the task. They may be a sufficient people helping out, or the individual monk may have important personal duties to attend to. There is a story of a newly ordained monk who spent his afternoon quietly in his kuti. Kuti is in his dwelling hut, while the other monks were sewing robes. The monk went to Gautama Buddha and accused this monk of negligence, apamato. Gautama Buddha called this monk for questioning. When he found out the monk had been developing concentrative meditation absorption of jhana, he told the other monks to cease their protests. Similarly, there are occasions when the majority of the community is caught up and disturbed about a communal issue. The response to it is in a confused and fruitless fashion. Those monks who remain quiet and detached in order to cultivate the Dhamma are considered to be acting appropriately. In relation to the second matters, there are no exceptions. When the community gathers to conduct a formal activity, Sangha Kama, all members of the community must be present. If a monk is ill or there is another reason preventing him from attending, then he must give his formal consent to the Sangha. In sorting out the details of these formal activities, however, the monks should first consider and look to those individuals who are directly involved or responsible for the matter at hand. Gautama Buddha stated, for one who is still in training, is in the way of decline, is not acknowledged and deferred to those experienced elders. Instead, to be obstructive and troublesome when there is formal communal business to attend to. The guidelines of social ethics, which is part of the Vinaya, the discipline, consists of a complete code of social conduct designed to make communal activities, the relationship to the outside world, and the whole environment in which a person lives conducive to growth and prosperity of a person's internal life. And in a complementary way, this code of conduct promotes a spiritual life whose virtues will be expressed outwardly, creating an atmosphere in which all people can train themselves and develop virtuous conducts, concentration, and wisdom in order to develop and discover true happiness. With a free and pure mind within peaceful, ordered, and secure environment. The discipline, the Vinaya, is a model example of morality on the level of code of discipline, which is complete systems guiding social conduct for the specific group of people, namely the Buddhist monastic community. The monastic discipline is not a set of moral principles in a restricted or limited sense, but rather it incorporates all aspects of the monk's social behavior and conduct, including designating the term and the procedures for accepting new members into the community, along with their privileges and responsibilities, caring for and training these new members, appointing officials for specific communal activities, determining the proper policies in regard to such to search for, production, storage, and distribution of the four requisites, the kinds of allowable food, the receiving and sharing of food, the making of proper use of robes, the kinds of proper medicines, the procedures of caring for sick monks, including responsibility of both the nurse and the patient, the allocation of dwellings, the duties of a resident in these dwellings, the policies of buildings of new building dwellings, the design and the new planning of new dwellings, and the management of the building projects, regulations for organizing communal meetings, the way of dealing with formal accusations, the proper conduct of a plaintiff and a defendant and the arbitrators of the case, the way of executing and setting legal disputes, and the imposition of various penalties. The term Vinaya refers to the comprehensive system of conduct enabling a specific group of people to be stable and secure, to live in a way that accords with the principles and to perform their activities in an optimal way in order to arrive at their aspired goal. If one uses modern terminology, the Vinaya is a system of conduct, a discipline that encompasses the entire range of governance, social management, legislation, economics, and education, along with other areas of responsibility, AOR. According to the formal agreements made by the group of people, this can include the entire nation by enacting a constitution, a charter, legal system, and a set of edicts. In Buddhism, the term Vinaya denotes the foundation of conduct that supports the entire Buddhist way of life, promotes a favorable practice along with Buddhist principle. The Bhikkhu Vinaya is an instrument enabling the monastic community, the Sangha, the Bhikkhu Sangha, to be a source of prosperity and growth for the monks, and to provide them with the true benefits that the Buddhist teaching has to offer. When the Vinaya exists, the monatistic Sangha exists. When the monatistic Sangha exists, the benefits derived from the Buddhist way of life exists. For this reason, a respect for the monatistic community and its activities, and a sense of responsibility in regards to its stable and well-being is the key objective in the Buddhist social ethics. Gautama Buddha established a complete code of discipline, the Vinaya, for the monatistic community, which lies at the heart of the wider Buddhist community. As for establishing an expanded, detailed code of discipline for the wider Buddhist community, it is set up to people in each specific time period, set of circumstances to accomplish this task by drawing on the spirit of the Vinaya, as King Asoka once tried to do. When one understands the principle of sila, morality, on the level of disciplinary code, the Vinaya, one will be able to distinguish between morality as Dhamma and morality as Vinaya. The former is included in the term Dhamma, while the latter is the definition of the term Vinaya. One will also understand why Gautama Buddha referred to Buddhism as the entire Buddhist teaching as Dhamma Vinaya, and why the Dhamma and the Vinaya comprises the entire spectrum of Buddhism. So the Tipitaka has 3 baskets. The first basket, the second basket, and the third basket. And the Vinaya is one of the baskets. Buddha Dhamma. We're going to leave off there, and we'll pick up at the top of page 1696. That's the end of chapter 1713, Buddha Dhamma.